Light. Midnight storm. Trees walking across the fields in fury, naked in the spark of lightning. I sit on the white porch of my brown hanging cane chair, coffee in my hand. Midnight storm, midnight summer. The past, friends and family, drift into the rain shower. Those relatives in my favorite slides reshot from old minute photographs, so they now stand complex, ambiguous, grainy on my wall. This is my uncle, who turned up for his marriage on an elephant. He was a chaplain. This shy-looking man in the light jacket and tie was infamous. When he went drinking, he took the long, blonde, beautiful hair of his wife and put one end in the cupboard and locked it, leaving her tethered in an armchair. He was terrified of her possible adultery, and this way died peaceful, happy to the end. My grandmother, who went to a dance in a muslin dress, with fireflies captured and embedded in the cloth, shining and witty. This calm, beautiful face organized wild acts in the tropics. She hid the milkman in her house after he had committed murder and at the trial was thrown out of court for making jokes at the judge. Her son became a QC. This is my brother at 6, with his cousin and his sister, and Pam DeVos, who fell on a penknife and lost her eye. My Aunt Christy. She knew Harold Macmillan was a spy and communicating with her through pictures in the newspaper. Every picture she believed asked her to forgive him, his hound eyes pleading. Her husband, Uncle Fitzroy, a doctor in Ceylon, had a memory sharp as scalpels into his 80s, though I never bothered to ask him about anything, interested them more in the latest recordings of Bob and Darren. And this is my mother, with her brother Noel in a fancy dress. They are 7 and 8 years old, a hand-colored photograph. It is the earliest picture I have, the one I love the most. A picture of my kids at Halloween has the same contact and laughter. My uncle dying at 68, and my mother a year later dying at 68. She told me about his death and the day he died, his eyes clearing out of illness as if seeing right through the room, the hospital. And she said he saw something so clear and good, his whole body for a moment became youthful, and she remembered when he sewed badges on his track shirts. Her voice joyous in telling me this, her face light and clear. My firefly grandmother also dying at 68. These are the fragments I have of them. Tonight in the storm, the dogs restless on the porch. They were all laughing, crazy, and vivid in their prime. At a party, my drunk father tried to explain a complex operation on chickens and managed to kill them all in the process. The guests having dinner an hour later, while my father slept and the kids watched the servants clean up the litter of beaks and feathers on the lawn. These are their fragments, all I remember, wanting more knowledge of them. In the mirror and in my kids, I see them in my flesh. Wherever we are, they parade in my brain, and the expanding stories connect to the gray, grainy pictures on the wall, as they hold their drinks, or 20 years later, hold grandchildren. Pose with favorite dogs, coming through the light, the electricity, which the storm destroyed an hour ago. A tree going down by the highway, so that now inside the kids play dominoes by candlelight, and out here the thick rain static, the spark of my match to a cigarette. And the trees across the fields leaving me, distinct, lonely in their own knife scars, and cow-chewed bark, frozen in the jagged light, as if snapped in their run, the branch arms waving to what was a second ago the dark sky, when in truth, like me, they haven't moved an inch from me. drift into the rain shower.